Hi, my name is Sister Serena Chapel. I'm a Sister of Providence. I was born and raised in a small town in northern Alberta. And I was very blessed to grow up in a family where I learned about God's love. One of my closest friends introduced me to the sisters. She invited me to join her and to join the sisters in Calgary for adoration. My religious call came after many other promptings of God. I had a very close relationship with Jesus for much of my life. I would have considered him one of my closest friends. And I followed many promptings of his through my years growing up in university and in my early life as a young professional teacher. And I knew that one thing God called me to was teaching. But after being settled as a teacher and, living as a faithful single person in the world, I realized that there was something missing in my life. And so that began my journey of what God was calling me to beyond what I was already living. And that led me to work with a spiritual director and eventually allowed me to hear God's call to religious life. But I think some of my greatest challenges have been moving deeply into an interior life and looking at who I am, who God created me to be, and learning to accept who I am and live that fully. There's many joys in living religious life for me, but I think the greatest is the deep found sense of peace and joy that God has given me in living this call. Being part of a community where you can share life deeply is something that gives me life. I'm a teacher, and a lot of my ministry has been working with young children. And I love that ministry, and being with the young children and helping them learn and supporting them and their families is something that brings me a lot of joy in life as well. Well, being here in Montreal has given me lots of new challenges. The first being the challenge of learning and living in a different language. It's something that I felt strongly called to, as I have a great desire to be able to communicate better with all of the sisters in our community, which means learning other languages to do that. And learning another language is always a challenge. Montreal is a part of Canada, but the culture is different than Western Canada. And so a lot of new things to learn, and new people to meet, new relationships to build. One day during the week, I spend at our mother house visiting with our elderly sisters, getting to listen to their stories and practice my French. And it's been wonderful to meet them and be able to bring some joy and happiness to their day in having a visitor and someone to talk to for a little while. A couple of other days a week, I go to an organization called Repeat Providence and help with childcare there. It's an organization that offers respite care for children in families who are in need in a variety of ways. So generally in a day, when I get up in the morning, I spend a bit of time in prayer and then get ready for the day. And if it's a morning when I'm going out to ministry, I go out to that and come home just after lunch. And most of my days involve some reading as well and some work on my French. And then as a community, we pray together every evening and have dinner together. And so if it's my day to cook, my day also involves that. If I have some time during the day, I also enjoy baking and sharing that gift with the sisters I live with. And then in the evenings, we will often spend time just sharing about our days together. Sometimes, will play a game together, go for a walk, or you have an interest in religious life, explore it. Have the courage to get to know a community. It can be a little overwhelming at first if your beginning is using the internet, because there are many, many communities out there. But my suggestion would be get to know a community, find a sister, a priest, a spiritual director who can journey with you and accompany you on that journey of exploring the possibility. Exploring the possibility doesn't mean that you say yes, but it gives you the opportunity to know more. Thank you for listening and joining me here today.